Alrighty, let's see what we have here. I put the Scrabble game in a big Ziploc bag. So thankfully, my puppy did not get a hold of the Scrabble board itself. So this is in good shape, thankfully. I have 2 bags of letters. This one came from a game, but look, it's splitting open, so we need a new drawstring bag. And I had this drawstring bag that I was using. I found this in the woods, that's why it's so dirty. But look, my puppies, these things happen. And then I also was able to salvage 4 of these. She got a hold of a couple of these letter holders as well. But between these 2 bags, I have a complete set of letters. I'll just add them up later. So let's get making the tote. Let's start with a drawstring bag. I dug out my red scraps. And look, I found this very pretty golden arrow red. I think this looks very Scrabbly. And I like the size of this Cleopatra bag, so I'm going to use that as a template. I'm going to cut this down and make it about this size, maybe a little taller. I salvaged the pull cords from the baggie. I made this into a rectangle, and the first step is going to be, I'm going to take a pinking shear to this edge right here, and then I'm going to fold it down like that to make my drawstring channel. Alright, I stitched down the pocket for the drawstring, and from here to here. Now I'm going to grab my pinking shears, because I'm using a 1/4 inch, just a little more than a 1/4 inch. I'm going to trim all the way down and then clip my corners. I trimmed the top, I pinked the edges. Next I'm going to be fancy and put just a little gusset in on the corners to make a box. And will you look at this? I have enough of the scrap fabric to make a drawstring bag for the tile holders. I'm going to do that. Ta-da! Tile bag and letter holder bag. Now to start a carrying case for the board and these things. I chose this red zigzaggy fabric for both the outer shell and the lining. I'm also adding denim for rigidity as well as a layer of flannel. The dimensions I started with were 16 3/4 inches by the width of fabric. I want the upper corner flappy to have a little bit of an angle on it. And so I'm just gonna, I have it folded in half so that it's symmetrical. I have the folded edge here, that'll be the finished edge of the case. And then up here, I'm just gonna lob that corner off. I have a layer of it's a stiff quilting cotton. I have a layer of denim to add some stability. I lobbed off my corners. And then I have a layer of flannel just to make it a little soft. And then at the fold, this is going to fold up and serve as the lining, the folded edge. On my Scrabble case, I am currently quilting these layers together. I am using a foot's width from this line right here. And I have my machine set to 6 stitches per inch, so just a nice long stitch. And I'm just following the line that's on the print. We're stitching together the back, the flannel, and the denim. And I have it very loosely pinned. This is all stitched down. And now I'm going to fold this in half, bring this edge up, and I'm going to sew this right sides together, sew this all the way around, but I am going to leave a gap at the top to bag it out. And for piecing, I'm going to bring my machine back to about 11 stitches per inch. Alright, I seamed this together, clip the edges, left a hole at the top, and now I'm going to bag it out. In layman's terms, to bag out simply means to turn your work inside out through the little hole that you left. This is bagged out. My next step is to fold this up and to seam along this edge and this edge, and then I am going to fold this in and stitch this down. I'll top stitch the flap. I stitch this down and I added a gusset. Now to flip it inside out. Alrighty, let's take a look at the outside. My gusset turned out well, made a box. And then I have this envelope, which will fold down. I found these in my jar of buttons, which is a pickle jar of buttons. I made this strap by cutting a 4-inch strip, folding it to the middle, folding it in half, and then top stitching it down. And I'm gonna stitch a couple of D-rings in. Every good game needs rules, so I printed off a copy of the official Scrabble rules and laminated it. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Please like, please subscribe, and please keep your eye out for future projects. Until next time, goodbye.